Morning, everyone. So, most of my friends know that I enjoy hiking in Harriman State Park. And in the northeast corner of Harriman, we have Bear Mountain. And I've hiked Bear Mountain a number of times. When I hear people talking about hiking along the Appalachian Trail, I hear them talking about hiking over Bear Mountain. But sometimes the way they were describing it didn't make sense to me. That wasn't anything like the way I experienced Bear Mountain. And it took a while for me to realize that there's another Bear Mountain on the Appalachian Trail in Connecticut. So the AT goes over two Bear Mountains, one in New York, one in Connecticut. And I thought it might be nice to do a little comparison of the two. So this morning, I'm at Bear Mountain in New York State. And at the base of the mountain, there's a recreation area with lots of amenities. Down this way, there's a set of restrooms, there's a picnic grove, that's a carousel, an indoor carousel. Over this way, they have an ice skating rink that functions in the wintertime. And over this way is the Bear Mountain Inn. So this is a nice lake. There's plenty of picnic space, barbecue grills around the lake, and you are also able to rent paddle boats and take them out on the lake. Now, normally, Bear Mountain would be very crowded, especially on the weekend. And in the late spring, summer, and fall when the weather is nice. I don't expect it to get very crowded today because it's a weekday and it's still a little chilly. The Appalachian Trail does run up and over Bear Mountain, but since I'm by myself and I only have one car, I have to take another trail up and do it as a loop. Actually one of my favorite spots on this climb. You get a great view of the Bear Mountain Bridge and the Hudson River, and there's usually not too many people up here because the only way to get to this spot is to climb up that hill. One of the things I really like about the Major Welch Trail is that it's pretty steep and rugged. It's not overly manicured. It's pretty natural and scrambly and rocky and climby, and I like that about it. I'm also only part way up at this point. There's still more mountain to climb before I get to the top. All right, so I've kind of reached the top. What we have here now is actually a handicap accessible gravel trail. You may be wondering why there's a handicap accessible trail at the top of that really intense climb. And the answer is that that climb is not the only way to get to the top of the mountain. So the reason why there is a handicap accessible trail up here is that there is a road that comes right up here, so anybody can just drive up. There are a few amenities up here. They have porta potties, there are garbage cans so you can drop your garbage, and they have some vending machines, although it doesn't look like they're on right now. I don't think anything is set up for the season yet. The Perkins Memorial Tower is also closed. Normally the doors are open and you can go up to the top, and there's a nice viewpoint from the top. Normally this area here is jam-packed with people. If you have a nice sunny day, particularly a weekend, it's wall-to-wall people up here because everybody just drives up. This is one of my favorite places to sit. And today, with nobody up here, it's incredibly peaceful. So the Major Welch Trail ends here. The Appalachian Trail meets the Major Welch Trail up here, but it comes from the south side of the mountain. And now I'm going to go back down the north side, but on the Appalachian Trail. So the Appalachian Trail, as it goes up and over Bear Mountain, is actually the oldest piece of Appalachian Trail, in that it was the first official part of the trail that was completed. It's also one of the newest pieces of the Appalachian Trail because within about the past 5 years, they completely resurfaced, restructured, rerouted, put in a whole lot of stone steps. It was a multi-year project, and we end up with a lot of steps that look like that. So this is much more manicured. The prior trail had eroded very badly and was in a lot of need of repair. And now we have this brand new section of Appalachian Trail up and over Bear Mountain. So this new section of trail is very well designed. It's good for preventing the erosion. It has a relatively gentle grade, and it's well constructed. It isn't what I normally think of when I think of the Appalachian Trail, though. It has more of a feel of a city park path now than it does the Appalachian Trail, because of the fact that there's this whole recreational area. There were many more people taking this particular part of the trail than just AT hikers. And so it got a tremendous amount of use and really needed some pretty significant repair. So I just ran into a southbound AT thru hiker. So I guess this really is the Appalachian Trail. I'm almost back down to the bottom of the mountain. You can see the lake right over there. I saw many more people as I was coming down the Appalachian Trail than I did going up the Major Welch this morning. Given the number of people that I saw while I was coming down the AT, I am not surprised to see that many cars in the parking lot, even on a weekday, and it's not even noon yet. So if you want to hike Bear Mountain in New York and the weather is nice, you should be prepared for crowds and cars at the top, because many people will just drive up the road. And most people who hike up and back as just a little quick day hike will go up and down on the AT. The Major Welch Trail is less traveled, but a lot more rugged. I enjoy it. It's a matter of what you prefer. Hi again. It's about 2 weeks later, and this time I'm on Bear Mountain in Connecticut. And I'm doing this as an up and over because I was able to get shuttled from one side to the other. It's about 6 miles from here to the Massachusetts border. And so I'll go right up and over Bear Mountain on the AT and then come out a side trail. You can see that today is not such a nice day. It is very rainy, so we'll see how that impacts the experience. Still pretty cloudy, but the clouds are breaking up in this direction a little bit. We'll see which way they roll and if they clear out. So far, the weather's been okay. It's wet. Everything's wet. It's been only mildly drizzling on and off. Every so often I'll see a little ray of sunshine, and then I'll see a big dark cloud. So it really can't make up its mind what it wants to do today. And look, see? A ray of sunshine. I hope it's like this when I get to the top. This would be perfect. Probably part of the reason why the trail has been fairly deserted this morning is that the threat of rain is keeping a lot of people away. But the other possible reason is that there's another way that you could get up to the top of this Bear Mountain. The lot where I left my car has 2 trails that make a loop, and you can loop around and then back down. So my guess is that many people are starting from there, and when I get to that point along the AT, I will probably run into more hikers coming up from that lot. The AT is currently a river. And here comes the sun. Look at this. It really can't make up its mind today. So this is really swollen. I'm not sure how to get across it without landing in it. Keep your fingers crossed. I made it across. There was one huge leap of faith I had to take there, but I made it without falling in the drink, so I'm grateful for that. So naturally, as I'm getting close to the summit, the skies open up and it begins to pour. That's not going to be fun. I made it to the top of Bear Mountain. The view is a little bit impaired, but I'm here. head down off the summit, and I've heard that the trail on the north side of Bear Mountain gets really steep, so I'll let you know. I'll grant you, it is definitely steep. However, the problem I'm having is that it's all wet. This was crazy. Trying to come down that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I made it down the extremely steep section. Wow. It was tremendously steep in some areas, and what made it worse was that it was basically like a waterfall in some areas. So you're trying to go down something really steep that has running water all over it. I'm soaked, but other than that, I'm okay. And the trail's looking better right now. Just a little soggy and wet. All right, so this is where I leave the AT. So I'm gonna head that way, follow the blue blazes. So, to compare the two Bear Mountains, I would have to say that in most categories, Bear Mountain in New York is tamer and gentler than the Bear Mountain in Connecticut. Now, some of that judgment may be due to the weather today, but putting the weather aside, let's compare them. Bear Mountain in Connecticut is over 1,000 feet taller than the one in New York. It's also going to be a longer hike. The Bear Mountain in New York is going to be maybe a 4.5 mile trek up and over or loop. And the one in Connecticut is at least 6, depending on how you do a loop, or today I did it as a 9-mile stretch. In addition, the trail here in Connecticut is much more rugged. The Appalachian Trail over Bear Mountain in New York is gently graded, very well manicured, has a lot of stone steps in it, whereas the Appalachian Trail over the Bear Mountain in Connecticut is typical Appalachian Trail on the south side, but that very difficult descent on the north side. Steep, rugged, and of course it was made more difficult by the fact that it was wet and slippery. I think it would have been much better had it been dry. If you like amenities, like vending machines and porta potties at the top, a road to be able to drive up to the top, the carousel and the sports fields and picnic areas and paddle boat rentals, then Bear Mountain, New York would be a good option. So I would say that the Bear Mountain in New York is more like an adolescent black bear, and the Bear Mountain here in Connecticut, by comparison, is more like a mature grizzly bear. So which hike do you prefer? I hope you enjoyed the excursions to the two Bear Mountains. The one thing I will say about both of them is that I didn't see a single bear on either one. See you down the trail.